Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Nexus, where we spotlight some of our favorite local businesses. I have a very special guest here with me today. You guys are going to really enjoy getting to know Gary. Gary Tharnish, he's with Home Real Estate. He is an outstanding realtor that goes above and beyond, and he will actually double check every single thing in every single contract that ever comes across his desk. And welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I mean, you're one of my bestest, favoriteest people, so it's great to be able to chat with you.
I was looking forward to this so much because
Me too.
Every time I see you, it puts me in like the most spectacular mood. So
Well, that's
this
good.
is just going to be perfect. We just roll right into Christmas in a great mood, right?
There we go. Yes, let's go. Holiday time. I'm ready.
Yes.
And
okay.
every single present's wrapped. That's not true for me, but it'll happen eventually.
I mean that's details.
That's right.
We're not really details kind of people.
Yeah, I'm
it's
just gonna
like more
hand
like
it to people.
high level. You know, they're in your house. That's good.
It is. I am done.
That's
So that's good. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Help us get to know you, where you're from.
Okay, well, I'm from
blah,
Lincoln.
Blah, blah. Yeah.
Born and raised in Lincoln. I grew up on 28th and P Street in the 60s and 70s. Let's see, I was a really awesome, quiet kid till I was 13, and then I was a hellion. Mom tried to sell me, nobody bought. And then went to UNL. My first love in life is music. I play a lot of musical instruments, and I'm very creative. I ended up working at a flower shop for several years and bought one and owned a flower shop for 36 years because of the creativity of it. I'm super creative, and I love that. That is me, you know?
Yeah, if you knew the flowers that came out of... are you going to say the store? Or
Yeah,
not?
it was Burton and Terrell.
Yeah, okay.
Sold it to Oak Creek.
So I didn't know if you could say it or not. But
I can.
anyways, if you saw any of those designs that came out of Burton's, they were glorious. They were just that much better. I mean, they were just so beautiful.
Yeah.
You are talented and
Thank
creative.
you.
Yeah.
And so I love the creative side. And people are like, realty, how does that fit in? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love going into all the different homes and seeing the architecture and just learning about that. But mostly, I just love people. I like being around people.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of my life just actually studying personalities. Took several psychology classes at UNL when I was there, and I love learning about personalities. If you think about everything in life, like that's the key to it, right? Like when you understand there's 4 basic personality types, you're going to talk to people differently based upon that. That's been a huge asset
like the
in
DISC
realty.
assessment.
Yeah. And the reason I got out of the flower shop into realty, because I always wanted to be a realtor, but it was always like, oh, next summer is Renee's daughter's wedding. I promised I would do it, so I never got out.
Yeah.
Well, when COVID hit, I had really niched into a lot of event work, so we lost 70% of our business overnight. And we knew there would be an ending point for that, but I'm like, I'm just tired with this. I'm just going to go into real estate, and I want to retire in Spain, and that way I can meet realtors in Spain, and it'll be really awesome. So that's a little bit about me. I have 3 kids. I have a 40-year-old, and he's married to Sarah, and I have 3 grandkids, 10, 8, and 4.
Oh my gosh, I bet you are the most amazing grandpa.
They're so fun.
Do they call you grandpa? What
They
do
call me
you?
Grampy Silly. Ha! Imagine that. And then I have a daughter who's 27. She'll graduate in May with a doctorate in occupational therapy. She's the one that we think would send her from some other planet. All of us are creative, and she'd be the one that would run down the hallway and go, oh, Dad, in junior high, Dad, how many bones do you have in your body? I'm like, enough. I don't know enough. Oh, I hate when you do that. Anyway, and then my youngest graduated from UNL. She works for a dean on East Campus and does like writing and a lot of presentation work for them for that. So
that's so
and
cool.
Then I was divorced like 10 years ago, and then I have a partner now. He's actually my fiance. His name's Tom, and we're getting married in a week from Saturday on New Year's Eve day. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
You are the cutest couple in the world, I have to say. And I had the good fortune of getting to know Tom when we both worked at Tier 1 Bank. So
I know.
When we figured out that you were seeing Tom and I knew Tom, it was like the greatest day ever.
It was hilarious. Well, his ex-wife, both of us, hid who we were for many, many years. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, his ex-wife is actually our officiant.
Yeah,
how cool is that? She's doing our wedding. So that's a little bit about me.
That is awesome. And let's mention quick, because you mentioned your mom. She is amazing as well. Like, you're a chip off the old block, because she went skydiving when she turned 88.
Yeah, at 88.
We're gonna put that link in the comments, so you guys gotta check that out. It is
also
so inspiring.
At 88, she deadlifts 120 pounds. She squats 82 pounds over her back. Overhead presses, she's at like 60 some pounds. I mean, she's just amazing.
And like, her reasoning behind it is like, Why not?
Yeah, she's in these card clubs, and she goes, all the ladies are trying to talk me out of skydiving. And she goes, then finally one of them said, well, you realize you could die, right? And she goes, I just looked at him and goes, well, you realize I'm 88, right? She goes, I want to go out that way. I was like, yes.
That's my mom.
That's my mom. She bad.
She bad.
She is great.
She really
She's
is. And
awesome.
I've got to meet her too. You'll send her as a guest once in a while.
Yes.
So we were in a Center Sphere group together.
You were.
But I remember meeting you. The very first time was we went to Omaha Fashion Week with Paige. And I was like, I want to be his friend.
Yes. I felt the same way about you. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was an instant wonderful thing.
So that.
And it was great the day I went home and I said, oh, we're going to go out to eat with Renee. So, and he goes, oh my God, I know her. I go, I know. She tells me you totally know her. So that's cool.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into a little bit more about what you do now so that we at least promote you as an amazing realtor.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I just recently started repping a builder, New Haven builder, so that's awesome.
That is so cool.
It is. I can now help people build their dream home. I love that aspect. That's fun. As far as realty goes, my thing is in class it was hilarious. On the 4th day of training, the teacher goes, oh, Gary, this one's going to be tough for you. So basically when you have a quiet client, you want to let them do 80% of the talking and you do 20. So I had to get like a banana chip for my lips, clip.
Yeah.
I love helping people find their home. It's just
I think
naturally
your
fun.
process is really genuine and neat. Like I've heard you tell stories about listening to what they're trying to accomplish in their home and like how do you want to use the space and you really take that in. Like you care genuinely about finding the right space, and you'll even tell them like, I don't think this is the house for you. You could make a sale. They're interested in wanting to put in an offer, and you're like, but you said your must-haves were this and this, and it doesn't have that. So I don't think we should do that. I don't want you to be unhappy. And so really like advocating for your clients. Is cool.
So for realtors, first off, we rate lower than congressmen. So sad.
What about like business brokers?
You get, the thing about it is this. I look at life as giving is more important than receiving all the time. So that's a big thing. If you go in with that mindset and working with somebody, it's very easy to say, you know what, my commission would be great if we did this, but it's not them and it's not what they need. And so I have no problem doing that. What was really awesome for me is one of my clients actually, when they did their testimonial, I think it's on my webpage, but they said, paraphrasing a little bit, but they basically said, Gary gave us all of our choices and options, often when it wasn't to his benefit. And that's what's important to me. It may sound crazy, but I don't, I get paid. I'm happy with what I get paid.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, I mean, I could complain about it, but, Taylor doesn't want to listen, so why am I going to? So that's how I approach my clients, because also, if you look at the long game, a lot of times in sales, people don't, right? Because you're working a solid commission, real estate solid commission. If you're selling used cars, small base pay commission, you need to eat, right? So a lot of times it's easy to go, hey, I want this sale, and I'm going to talk them into the Lexus instead of, this Camry because I get more money. But at the end of the day, I don't want a client ever saying, oh, this house is okay, but we ended up spending more than we wanted to, and it wasn't exactly what we wanted. I want them saying, this was it. Yeah. Like Gary took the time to help us.
Every single person they know that.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a snowball effect, especially in real estate. It's very much a referral-based business. And
I just genuinely find it natural and like making people feel happy. And I think when I approach things that way, it's really helpful. Like, people come to me and they'll just get into their deepest, darkest everything in 5 minutes of meeting them. And then there's times I go, it's a curse. I don't want to know. You murdered 3 people? No, that's never happened, but.
Honestly, you can probably get people to tell you like their biggest dirt.
They do. Yeah, which is fine.
But I like how you really attacked, like going into a brand new industry. You weren't just going to like dip your toe in and be like, well, I'll see if I can be a realtor. No, you were like, I will be a realtor and I'm going to do this. And and you took a class and you took it to heart and you put the principles in practice.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so when I sold the shop, I was 59. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, you're going to go into a whole nother career or whatever. Well, first off, studies will show you if between 50 and 70 you do something like that, like learn a new language or do whatever, it really is great for your brain as it ages.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a positive. But I also looked at it as if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. So I'm always going to CE classes I don't need just because I want to learn as much as possible. I thought I'm going to approach it as just being a sponge. I want to soak up everything.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference. And I don't ever have a problem telling a client, I don't really know that. I'll check it out though and get back to you.
Yeah,
And then I do
that's
follow
so
through.
important.
Follow through
Yeah.
is huge. And learn a lot and use YouTube a lot. You can learn so much from YouTube. So yeah, I love it very much. I think my goals for this next year and things I've been working on this year are my approach to life in general, but especially business. Mm-hmm. So it starts with mindset. I do that in the morning. I write out my affirmations. It's very, very important to me. It's made a big difference. I truly believe what you think expands. And I'll just say that again because I think it's so important. What you think expands. For example, oh God, it's Monday and I hate Mondays. It's going to be da-da-da-da. Guess what? It's probably going to be like that. Whereas if you go, I always say the devil on this side's going, Gary, it's Monday, you're going to hate it, and I'm like, what does this side say? And I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a great day. Yeah. And so that's important. I think in real estate, having strategies is very important. I think a lot of people think, God, I got to have a ton of money to get into a house. You really don't. There are so many strategies available. Now with higher interest rates, there's tons of strategies available that are legal, but also they're just very good financial strategies that can get you a lower interest rate. There's a lot of things you can do. So strategy is my second word every day. I want to find strategies for my clients and for my friends, I mean, we talk and sometimes you're down or I'm down and we can just help each other by going, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Have you tried this? Or it's just going to be okay. We know it'll be okay.
Yeah, and then the third's communication. I always figure if a client's calling me with a question I already knew the answer to, I'm behind the 8 ball. Right? So when I find out something, I'm relaying that right away to my client. Hey, just got heard from that this situation's going on. I don't ever want somebody to be blindsided or hear from someone else, like a title person or the mortgage broker, that something's going on. I should tell them. So communication's important. But I think you could have all three of those things in whatever business you do. But if you don't do the fourth one, it's nothing. So my fourth one is action.
Awesome.
Right? I mean, you have to act upon your goals. It's one thing to write your goals out, but if you have no action.
Yeah, you can manifest all you want. There does have to be an action component behind it. Like things will not just magically occur.
Yeah.
So you make your own destiny.
Yeah. I have a friend and she thought about opening up this company that does all this really cool stuff. She even thought, I'm going to call it True North if I do it or whatever. And then she actually did the action and did it. So see, that's cool how that works. Oh, that's you.
I had no idea this was where it was going.
Sorry.
So if you just ever need like somebody to just boost you up and make you feel amazing, just call Gary.
Yes, I will do that. And if I need somebody, I'll call you because it's not all peaches and ice cream. I don't even like peaches, where that came from, but anyway, I do like ice cream.
You're so goofy. Okay, tell us maybe a story of a client that was going through like a tough situation that you figured it out and you made it better.
So I had a client that was looking for their dream acreage. And this was before they were my client. I wasn't even a realtor when they found their house. So they found this acreage. It was absolutely beautiful. And they moved into it. And they then needed to sell the house that they'd been in previously. And like within a week of moving into a new home, she had major health issues and was literally hospitalized for a long time. I mean, we're talking several months. It was just not an easy process for them. And I was connected to them because of another friend. And I mean, I'll keep all their information private. But anyway, long story short, what happened is their other house just kind of got into disrepair because, as you know, the two worst things for houses, the number one worst thing is water. So if you own a house, do maintenance. All kinds of maintenance, that's the hugest thing. But water intrusion is your worst nightmare with a house. So they had some of that while they were not able to be really go to this house. I mean, because obviously they're just focusing on her health. It was, that serious. So when they were ready to get rid of it, they had said to my friend, we're probably not going to get anything for it. We're thinking about just calling one of those cash people. And, he's like, give Gary a call. Just give him a Gary, talk to him. And she was pretty down when I first talked to her. I mean, it was like, and I just said, well, let's approach it from the thought that, we're going to get this sold and you're going to make some money. Anyway, long story short, It was challenging for her the whole way, but we got it sold, and they walked away with like twice what they thought they could walk away with. Just because my approach in selling your home, my approach is not just staging it or whatever. When I sell a home and I'm working with you, I want you to present that home to the public in the best light possible. That's where you don't leave money on the table. A lot of people is like, well, this house is for sale as is. You know what? You could do a little bit of fix up. I help people do that from a buyer's eyes, not from a interior design eye or whatever, but a buyer's eye. What are buyers looking for? Because they make their decision in the first 60 seconds.
Right.
So you can repaint, you can repaint everything and do all this stuff, but if you're railing on your front stairs, it's all rusted out, and the front door doesn't close properly, and the mailbox is tipping over, they've made their decision before they walk through the house. Yeah. They'll keep looking, but it's going to be, anyway, so... Anyway, so it was a really good thing, and she ended up super happy, and that's probably the one that has brought the most warmth to my heart.
Yeah.
Because it was just, and to finish the story now, the surgeries and everything that she had to have, it's super wonderful now, and she's doing great.
Oh, that's such a happy ending.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Me too.
I also like that I don't do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No day is the same
it
ever.
Is. Yeah. You're out looking at whatever homes or...
You get to see really cool houses too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Looking at land's been interesting when you take somebody out to look at land. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, it's a Nebraska field. And they're super excited. I'm like, okay, yes. Oh, that's exciting. Not too much
What
for
are
me.
you seeing that I'm not?
Exactly.
Okay, I like to ask people, what is like your favorite book that you've read?
Oh my gosh. Personalities Plus by Florence Littenauer. So Florence has passed away now. She's an amazing woman. In the 80s, I heard her speak several times about personalities. That changed my approach in business and really helped my bottom line, to realize I was just like, well, everybody thinks like I do, don't you? You're, whatever. But, there's people that are like sanguine, crazy people like me, like, where's my keys? Where's my this? Where's my that? I'm a hot mess, to the phlegmatics who are very much like, I just want every single detail that there is. And then once I have that, I will take my 5 days to make my decision. As I was like, I call them the Eeyores. They're really wonderful people, but they need all their friends. So that changed my life. I love that book. That's the book that I would say I think has probably been the most life-changing. And I've read tons of, there's a lot of them, but that one was probably...
And it was Personalities
Plus by Florence Littenauer.
Okay. I'll have to look into that. I haven't read that one.
I'll loan you my copy.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love that.
Yeah. You would have loved her. She was great. She was a bubble.
You got to know her?
Yeah, I met her. Well, so in Washington, D.C. at a conference for the Society of American Florists, she was one of the guest speakers, and Barbara Bush had been we'd been trying to give her an award for like 5 years because she was a huge flower lover, and every year there was something. So this year she was supposed to come to our presidential banquet, and she goes, I have to cancel again because I can't remember who it was. It was shortly after the wall came down in Eastern Europe, and one of the presidents of one of the countries was coming over for a state dinner. She goes, but I'll tell you what, the day before, you could all come to the White House for lunch. So we got to go, and I was single, and so all the tables were kind of filled with couples except Florence and I. So we got to sit with Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush kicked me under the table, by the way. I loved her. Actually, she was awesome. I have my picture with her in my office, but she was awesome. But we're having lunch. She gave us a tour of the White House, which she had never done for any other group. But she's a huge flower lover, so she's like, I love these people. So we're sitting at the table, me, Barbara Bush, Florence Littenauer, and then her assistant. And she looks at me and she goes, well, how have you felt and how have you enjoyed your time at the White House? I go, it's awesome. I go, it's just like being at my grandma's house. And without missing a beat, as she kicks me, she goes, but I'm way too young to be your grandmother. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, why do I always say what I think?
This is one of your best. It's one of your best qualities. Right. That is a great story. So if you want to sell your house and just have great stories told to you all day long, whenever you're talking to Gary, then call Gary. So
yes, but
how can they find you? How can they find you?
So many ways. Actually, just Google Gary Tharnish. You can do that. Google Gary Tharnish Home Real Estate. My webpage is actually Gary Tharnish. .homerealestate.com, and you can find me there. I am part of a real estate group called Home Design Real Estate Group, which is kind of earlier when I talked about presenting a house and not leaving any money on the table. That's what our group does the best. It's amazing. A lot of times people think it'll take thousands. It can take a lot less. We prepare your house for the market and present it so that you get top dollar. So I would say that's what differentiates me or a lot of other teams from our group.
Yeah.
And we call ourselves a group more so than a team because we work together really well.
Yeah. And it's nice when you work with a group, because then if Gary happens to be out of town for Christmas, I mean, someone will still help you out. So
Yes, and we're looking for more realtors to join. We have several idea type people and creative people, 2 hot messes, 1 person that's phlegmatic. We need a finisher. If you're a finisher, just throwing that out there. We need your help.
Yeah. Any other asks? Any other things are? How many things can we solve right now?
Lottery numbers, that'd be great. You have them. I know that's hard to share, but remember I said giving is a really positive thing in your life. That won't work.
Oh, well, I think that's actually a perfect thing to finish on. Giving
is.
It's the reason for the season, right?
And Renee, I want to thank you. You are one of the most kind, giving people I've ever met. You're genuine, and I love that. We don't find that a lot in life. Where you picked that guy up, I don't know. But anyway, sorry. Taylor's behind the scenes. He's pretty awesome, you guys, anyway. So
Yeah,
now that I just threw him under the bus.
I'm really lucky to have Taylor.
It's a joke. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you, I have to say.
Well, you're welcome.
You really are an amazing person. So.
You too.
Well,
and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. And Merry Christmas to all of you out there. And I hope you have a wonderful time celebrating with your families. And tune back in a few weeks. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.